Viewers, welcome to another biology presentation. This is your presenter, Mr. Mlenga. So in this presentation, I want us to look at questions that are based on plants and animal cells. So these questions are just random questions that I picked from different past papers. So don't mind the numbers. So we are going to start with our first question right here. The diagram below shows a cell from a leaf of a plant. So this is the diagram right here, which is labeled A, B, C, and D. The question, which of the labeled parts stores salts? So which of these parts labeled A, B, C, and D stores the salts? A, we have the nucleus. B, we have the cytoplasm. C, right here, we have the vacuole. D, we have the chloroplast. So the part that will be able to store the cell salts is the part labeled C, which is the vacuole. Okay, so the correct answer here is going to be C. This is our answer. So we now move on to our second question. All right, so this is our second question right here. The question reads, the diagrams below show 4 different animal cells as seen through a microscope. So we have diagram 1, diagram 2, diagram 3, diagram 4. So these diagrams are presenting the cells, which are the animal cell. So the question reads, what are these cells called? So cell 1, this is called the muscle cell. Cell 2, this is called the white blood cell, specifically the phagocyte. Now we can just go for white blood cell. Cell 3, this is called the red blood cell. And cell 4 is called the nerve cell or the neuron cell. So let us look at our options. So one we have said is the muscle cell. So we will focus on B and C. So we have muscle cell. Then 2, this is the white blood cell. So 2 white blood cell. So definitely we'll go for B. 2 is white blood cell. Then 3, we said this is the red blood cell. And 4, this is the neuron. So the correct answer here was a B. So this was our answer. Number 1 is the muscle cell. Number 2 is the white blood cell. Cell 3 is the red blood cell. And cell 4 is the neuron cell or the nerve cell. So we have answered this question. We now move on to our next question. Alright, so we now come to our next question. So remember what I said, that don't mind about the numbers. I just compiled these questions. The diagram below shows a plant cell. So this is a plant cell that is labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the question reads, which of the labeled parts make up the protoplasm? So the protoplasm consists of the cell membrane, the nucleus, and the cytoplasm. That is what we call the protoplasm. So when you look at this plant cell, 1, this is the cell. Then 2, this is the cytoplasm. 3 is the cell membrane. Then 4, this is the vacuole. 5, this is the nucleus. So I've said protoplasm consists of the cytoplasm and the nucleus, including the cell membrane. So 5, which is the nucleus, part of the protoplasm. We also have 2, which is the cytoplasm, and we also have 3, which is the cell membrane. So we have 2, 3, and 5. So let us look at our option. The best answer here, 2, 3, and 5 is on B. So the protoplasm consists of 2, which is the cytoplasm, 3, which is the cell membrane, 5, which is the nucleus. So we now come to the next question. So this is our next question right here. The question reads, which of the following carbohydrate is found in most cells of fungi? Which of the following carbohydrates is found in most cells of fungi? So we have A, cellulose. B, chitin, C, sugar, D, keratin. So which of these carbohydrates is found in most cell walls of fungi? Okay. All right. So the carbohydrate that is found in most cell walls of fungi is we have A, cellulose, B, chitin, C, sugar, D, keratin. So the carbohydrate that is found in most cells of fungi is chitin. So the answer here is chitin. Then cellulose, this is the carbohydrate that is found in most plant cells, and specifically the cells of the plant cell, which protects the plant against any infection and damage. So we have answered this question. We now move on to our next question. All right, so this is our next question. The question reads, the diagrams below show 5 different cells as seen through a microscope. So these are the different cells that we are seeing through the microscope. So we have the first cell, the second cell, the third cell, the fourth cell, and the fifth cell. Now looking at the options or the question, which 2 cells are plant cells? So from these cells that we are seeing through the microscope, which of the 2 cells are the plant cells? So cell 1 we have the chick cell, cell 2 we have the red blood cell, cell 3 this is the parasite cell, cell 5 this is the sponge cell, cell 6 this is the sperm cell. So looking at the numbers, I think these numbers were not correctly written. They were supposed to be written like this: 1, 2. This was supposed to be a 3, a 4, and this a 5. Okay, so there was an error here. So the plant cells will be the parasite cell and the spongy cell, which is 3 and 4. Okay, so the answer was C. So if this was not corrected in an exam, since they rebut 4 and 5, should have gone for this one if it was not corrected in the exam. So I hope you have gotten what I've said here. So the parasite cell and the sponge cells, these are the these are the 2 plant cells. So for these cell 1, cell 2, and the cell 6, these are animal cells. So we have answered this question. We now move on to our next question. All right, so we've come to the second question. The question reads, the diagram below shows 3 specialized cells found in a human being. So these are animal cells. We have cell X, cell Y, and cell Z. The question reads, match the 3 cells with the tissues where they are found. Match the 3 cells with the tissues where they are found. So cell X, this is the muscle cell. Then we have cell Y, this is the red blood cell. Then we have cell Z, which is the nerve cell or the neuron. So our muscle cell, which is cell X, this is found in the muscle. Then we have cell Y, which is the red blood cell, which is found in the blood. Then we also have the cell Z, which is the nerve cell, which is found in the nerve. Okay, so our correct answer here, we need to look where we have muscle cell, where we have muscle, blood, and nerve. So A, blood, nerve, muscle. So muscle Y is not found in the nerve cell because it's a blood cell. B, muscle, blood, nerve. So our correct answer is a B. Okay, our correct answer is a B right here. So muscle X, which is the muscle cell, this is the muscle cell, which is found in the muscles. Muscle Y, sorry, cell Y, this is the red blood cell, okay, which is found in the blood. Then cell Z, this is the nerve cell or the neuron cell, which is found in the nerves. Okay, so we now come to our second question. So this is our second question right here. What structures help root hair cells to take up water? What structures help root hair cells to take up what? Water. A. Contractile fibers. B. Thick outer walls. C. Large surface area. D. Cell membrane. So the structures that help the root hair cell to take up water is the large surface what area. So this is our answer. So we have answered this question. Now we move on to our next part. All right, guys. So we are done looking at paper 1 type of questions under plant cell and animal cell. We now come to paper 2 type of questions from the same topic, plant cells and animal cells. So you can see section A, short answer questions. Okay, this is paper 2 biology. So our question 1 here. Figure 1.0 shows some specialized cells P, Q, and R. So these are the specialized cells P, Q, and R. Name each of the cells above. So what is the name of cell P, cell Q, and cell R? So cell P, this is called the root hair cell. Cell Q is called the red blood cell, and cell R is called the parasite cell. So we have said cell P is the root hair cell. Then cell Q, we have said this is the red blood cell. Then cell R, we have said this is the parasite cell. This is the parasite cell. So these were the answers to this question. So let us look at the second question now. All right, so this is our question B now. State the functions of cell P and Q. So cell P, we have said this is the root hair cell, and cell Q, we have said this is the red blood cell. So what is the function of the root hair cell? So the function of the root hair cell is just to absorb water and mineral salts from the soil. So here we say the function of cell P is to absorb water and mineral salts from the soil. Okay, then what is the function of the cell Q? Cell Q, this is the red blood cell. The function of the red blood cell is to transport oxygen around the body. To transport oxygen around the body. So these were the functions of cell P and cell Q, which is the root hair cell and the red blood cell. So let us now look at our second question. So this is our second question right here. So this second question, the question reads, explain the adaptations for cell P and Q to their functions. Explain the adaptations for cells P and Q to their functions. Okay. All right. So they want us to explain the how cell P and cell Q are adapted to their functions. Okay. So adaptation simply refers to the situation whereby how a cell is able to perform its function. So when you look at cell P, this is the root hair cell, which has got this outgrowth. Okay. So the root hair cell is adapted to its function by developing the outgrowth. So this outgrowth it grows, okay, which increases the surface area for absorption, okay, for absorption. That is how the root hair cell is adapted to its what? Its function. Then when you look at cell Q, which is the red blood cell, so the red blood cell is adapted to its function by having a biconcave disc shape to increase the surface area for diffusion of what? Oxygen. Then when you look at cell R, this is the parasite cell. The parasite cell is adapted to its function by having numerous what? Chloroplast that allows it to be able to trap sunlight and undergo the process of what? Photosynthesis. So on the root hair cell, on the red blood cell, and the parasite cell, there are other adaptations that you can give. Okay. Now looking at the question, they just want 1 mark on each. So you can just give simple answers and they'll give you marks. All right. So we have said that cell P has an elongated, which is the root hair cell. It has an elongated outgrowth. It has an elongated outgrowth which increases surface area for absorption. Which increases surface area for absorption. So the root hair cell, they have no chloroplast. They have no chloroplast. So in order for them to be able to transport the mineral salts, they transport the mineral salts through the process called active transport. Hence they have numerous mitochondria so that they have energy for that process to occur. Then for the red blood cells, we have said these are adapted to their functions by having a biconcave shape. So adaptation of cell Q, we are saying that it has a biconcave. It has a biconcave shape. Biconcave. It has a biconcave disc shape. It has a biconcave disc shape. That increases the surface area for diffusion of oxygen. For diffusion of oxygen. So remember, I've said that there are other adaptations that you can give for the root hair cell and the red blood cell. Okay, so we are done answering question 2. We now come to question 3. Sorry, question C. So in question C, the question reads, where in the leaf is cell R located? So cell R, we have said that is the parasite cell. Okay, so where in the leaf is the parasite cell located? Okay, so the parasite cells are located in the parasite mesophyll tissue of the cell. So here we'll just write this is a 1 mark. So these are located in the parasite. So the parasite cell is located in the parasite mesophyll tissue. In the parasite mesophyll tissue of the cell. Okay. So this is where the parasite cells are located in the palisade mesophyll tissue of the cell. So we've come to the end of our lesson. Thank you so much, everybody, for having time to view this content. This has been your presenter, Mr. Mlenga. Bye bye.